All right, perfect. All right, my name is Whit Gray, and I'm with Dog Training Elite West Atlanta. We are a national company, and what we do is we train dogs, obviously, right? But what we try to do is get the dogs where the dogs are able to be inside buildings and stuff of that nature. So we can actually certify them as service dogs, or if you need, it sounds like you guys would more need dogs to be more like a therapy dog, which is why I brought Chapo here with us today. This is Chapo. He's a 4-year-old black Labrador. He will be more of what we would consider a service dog because, as you can see, he will go to pretty much anybody that I, allow him to go to. He's there to more comfort you during times of need, maybe maybe you've been assaulted or something like that, and you just need to forget about something. We've had people that have lost family members, and they go into the police station, and just kind of helps them to calm them down after traumatic situations that they might be in. We do come to your home to train your dog. We also do online training. You can set that up with most any location. But what we do train them for is for them to live with you. So like if you have your dog on the leash on the outside and you've demoted him to outside, then we're probably not the trainers for you. But if you want him inside and you're trying to make sure that you're able to live with a dog where he's not peeing or pooping inside the house and just being more of a docile dog, so that you can take him around your friends and have him do, some tricks. So I thought I'd show you guys a few tricks for Chapo here. One of the things that you might want, I'll tell you what, Mr. CJ here, he has a question for you guys, and we want to see if somebody can answer this question.
All right, y'all ready? All right. What sense is most highly developed in a dog, estimated to be between 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than humans? Sight, touch, hearing, or smell? First hand.
I saw the first hand right here was you, young lady. Wait.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
Wait, did you said sight, touch?
Sight, touch, hearing, and smell, or smell?
Oh, sight.
Wrong.
What?
You, young lady, you were the next.
Huh?
Oh, we got a winner. I got a car freshener for you, okay, in case you have your dogs with you and they're stinking up the place, you can put your car freshener in. Do you have a second question for them, CJ, also?
Yep.
Okay.
What is the most intelligent dog breed known for its ability to learn commands in fewer than 5 repetitions?
This might be a little harder here.
Golden Retriever, Border Collie, Poodle, or German Shepherd?
Border Collie?
Oh my gosh, that was right. How did you know that?
I used to do a lot of research on dogs.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I thought German Shepherd at the beginning, and you went straight to Border Collie.
I was like police dogs.
Yes, that was awesome answer. So the reason why we asked about the sight, the smell and taste, we also train dogs. One of their most keen senses is their sense of smell. So we can train dogs to be diabetic alert service dog. What that means is if your blood sugar goes high or low, the dog can alert you that something's going on. You might need to get, your blood sugar checked and stuff like that. We also do scent training. Well, that was what I was just talking about. That would basically be scent training. We also do autism training. Like if you have a child that maybe wanders off, we can have it where the dog can go either find the child or we can hook the child up to the dog because the dog kind of understands what's going on a little bit better than the child sometimes. But, it's there to help keep your children safe. So those are the things that you might not think of a dog can do, but they are able to do that. So, Chapo, come. So we're gonna show you guys a few things. One of the things, Chapo, come over here. Chapo, come. One of the things that, we also do would be like force fetch. That means like if you're inside of a home and you are looking, like maybe you're disabled or something like that and you need your dog to be able to get up on top of something, to grab a remote or something like that. Obviously, he knows exactly what I'm talking about because he went ahead and did it already. So, Chapo, sit. So we want the dog to be able to climb over obstacles to get items that they can get, right? So, you know, maybe it's something on top of the counter and you need him to go get it, then he'll be able to jump up on, you know, barrel, or maybe you have a stool in your house and you're like, I need him to get up on top of the stool. So, come on over here, buddy, please. And maybe you need him to get up there to grab something for you. It's a little bit easier, you know, if you're in your house and we teach him. And that's why I'm showing you guys this video here, because we come to your home to teach your dog, and mostly to teach you. To teach the dog is a little bit easier. You can get down, boy. He's getting a little old, so he's a little shaky on these things. He's really usually good. I mean, I've had him on fire hydrants and stuff like that. I probably got it on here. But, you know, it just really depends on what you're training your dog to do. So, Chapo, place. Chapo, come. Come on, buddy. He's getting a little old, guys. Place. Thank you, sir. Yep. So it just really depends on what you're trying to get your dog to do. This is me training Draco right here to heel. Heel is just basically means walk next to me. You know, keep up with me, walk next to me. And so that's what we're doing right here. We're training this dog here to keep up with his owner. This young lady is actually a horse trainer, so she's actually really, really good with this dog. And as you can see, he's about 15 weeks. Well, he was 14 weeks here, maybe 13, 14 weeks, which is, you know, not normal for a dog to just be like, yeah, let me kind of lay on the mat, you know, which is really helpful, you know, if you're inside and you're trying to, you know, watch TV or something, and I don't want you running around there and chewing on baseboards of my load-bearing wall in my house, you know, stuff like that. So that's pretty much what we would do. We also, after your dog has been trained by me or one of our trainers would come by, we also, hold on a second. We also go to places like Home Depot, Lowe's, Tractor Supply, and work with you and your dog to, you know, get them really socialized. And I don't know why it's not playing. Yeah, but as you can see, this is Blue. He is about 115-pound cane corso. And this right here is Marley, which is a German Shepherd, which had a lot of issues going into boarding facilities. He would be a little bit more aggressive. But as you can see, we're getting ready to go into Home Depot. This dog had got kicked out of a lot of, his owner is a track star, and so she has to leave town. And so she has to leave him at boarding spots. And so he's gotten kicked out of a lot of boarding spots. But now he's not any issues with him. You know, he's more relaxed. This guy right here is about 8-9 months. So he was a little more aggressive during this session, but it was some other extenuating circumstances going on. So that's pretty much what we do. Once you get a training program, then we just work with you and your dog to, go over your goals. It could be that, I go out of town a lot and I need my dog to be boarded, or it could be, something as simple as I have a 110-pound dog and I don't want him biting on me or something of that nature. So it just really depends on what you're trying to do, what your personal goals are for your dog, for us to, we go over each custom program with you. And like I said, we're a national company, so if you're not in Atlanta, you can reach out to us and just look us up at Dog Training Elite on that QR code, and it'll take you to whoever's the closest location. And if there's no closest location, you can always reach back out to me, and I have an online training program that we can get set up if y'all need it. But for the most part, we want you kind of hands-on. We want to be able to see the dog, but there are some things I can do online, to get you, if your dog is doing something crazy, you would, explain to me, and then we'll kind of take care of it from there. So anybody got any questions? Does it make sense? And does it apply to what you guys are doing? Because I assume the service part therapy more apply to you guys, but go ahead.
What are so like you said that some dogs you help with smell training, what are they smelling for in medication, is there like a specific scent that they're trying to get used to? Is it like insulin or is it like glucose?
Yes, it's like insulin and glucose. They give us insulin and glucose vials that you can use to help train the dog.
So do they respond when it's too low or when it's too high?
Both. You would need different vials for each one. I would assume now I'm not a medical doctor, right? But like there are different. I assume there's different vials for low blood sugar and high blood sugar. So we would need both of them in order to it has to really apply to you. But those are vials that you can actually get to train the dog to do what you need. Go ahead.
Does it matter like the breed for obviously there are working dogs like German Shepherds, Malinois.
Absolutely.
Labradors.
Yes, it matters more that you want a dog that's more of a working dog. Chapo probably wouldn't be like a great working dog because he's a little bit more lazier. Okay, like this dog, this Cane Corso, he's kind of lazy also. German Shepherds are more like working dogs, so they're gonna be more attuned to what you're doing, and like anytime you move, and they're alerting, looking at you to see what's going on, and they can kind of smell it a little bit easier.
If someone were to need like a hypoallergenic dog, what would you recommend that would be the dog to train for that?
If they have issues with like allergies and stuff like
Yeah.
that, I've heard that Havaneses, like more of the curly haired dogs, poodles, poodle
Like
breeds.
the giant poodles?
Yes, those are a little bit. Usually the hair doesn't come off as much, and it's not. From what I've heard, I'm not 100% sure on that. But I know Havaneses, poodles, dogs with hairs like this will probably have a little bit more issues with it. So, anybody else? Does it make sense to everybody? Is anybody here from Georgia? Everybody's from out of town. Okay. Anybody from out of the country? Okay. Everybody's like California. What states? What state? New York. Florida. California. Okay. What about you? Connecticut. Okay. Okay. All over. Okay. So we have locations all over the U.S. Maybe in California we don't have as many. I think we maybe have one location. So.
Just have one question. So do you guys hire people based on volunteers also, or is it just
I'm gonna be honest with you. Most locations they hire people that are their clients.
Oh, okay.
Like when it starts getting busier in that location,
Yeah.
the first person they're gonna look for is who have I worked with, because I've come to their house, I know what they do, I know how they act, and I know that they understand how to train the dog.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be honest with you, the other couple that I just showed you guys, they would be a prime candidate for who I would look for if, once we get a little bit busy, I'll be like, hey, Cody, I need your help. So yeah, and they will love to do it. You can tell because I've worked with you for some of these people. I've worked with them for, the German Shepherd for about a year, and the Cane Corso since he was born, and he's like 10 months old. So yeah, I'm going to my clients first because I don't have to really teach them too much. Make it easier for me. So that's what I look for. Yeah. Any other questions? I see he done made a friend here, and so, which is awesome. And like I said, he's more of like a therapy dog. We want, a lot of dogs. I have other dogs. I have a little Havanese. She's about this big. She don't want anything to do with probably any of you guys. She'd probably be hiding in the corner somewhere or something like that. But, we want them to be more socialized, with people and other animals and stuff like that. So. All right, so if y'all don't have any other questions, I'm an open book for y'all. If y'all got trainer questions, I'm here for you. Anybody else?
Is he pure lab or is he mixes?
Pure English Labrador. Yes, English Labrador. They have American Labrador and then they have English Labrador. So the English Labrador's head is going to be a little bit boxier, which which is kind of good for like retrieving items and grabbing stuff. Yeah.
I have an actual training question about my dog.
Go ahead.
He
Go ahead.
won't stop watching TV and barking at it. Is that
Watching
something-
TV and what?
Whenever a dog comes on the screen, only a dog can start barking like crazy.
Oh yeah, it's just yeah. I mean, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. It depends on the dog. Like, he doesn't look at TV.
Yeah, he's a schnauzer. He's
Oh, okay, yeah. Some dogs, it seems like they're more aware of the world.
Yeah.
You know, that's why people ask me, does every dog need training? I'd be like, no, every dog doesn't need training. Some dogs are a little bit smarter
Do you ever
than.
like reject people from like training?
Say it again.
Do you ever like tell people that you're like unable to train your dog? Or
I tell them that I'm unable to train them.
oh,
I'm gonna just be honest with you. That's usually what the case is. The dog is not the issue. It's usually gonna be the owner because they're doing something crazy,
yeah.
or maybe you just be surprised. Some people I just be like, no, you don't fit my clientele, and I have to walk off.
No, I think he had his hand up.
Huh?
He had his hand up before.
Oh,
No,
It's-
sorry.
oh, my bad.
I was just gonna ask what methods you use to train.
We use mostly positive enforcement. We also use the e-collar to enforce it. Chapo has an e-collar on him right now. As you can see, I haven't had to use the e-collar because he knows all the commands that I'm asking him to do, which is place or sit or down. And so the e-collar just helps enforces it, because there are some dogs that you might teach them that. I have a German Shepherd. He's, I think, 8 months old now. And so he understands the command, but the value of what he's trying to get at is a little bit more higher than what you're talking about. So I live on like a 2-acre property. So like if he sees a deer and the deer goes to jumping like that, he's like, yes, it's time to go. And so he's not paying attention to anything that I'm asking him to do. So at that point, that's when the e-collar kind of comes in. Because now if he run like 400 yards that way, I can still be like, Rocco, bring your tail right back here, because I'm not going out there to get you, bro. So bring yourself back. So that's really what is more important. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions?
Can you elaborate on like what you mean, like when you say that like the trainers, like or like the owners of the dog, will care more likely to fail you than the actual dogs themselves?
Absolutely. Sometimes people feel like me as a trainer that I'm going to come over there, and I come over one hour a week, okay, and I'm going to give you homework to do, okay. If you don't do the homework, the dog isn't going to learn, okay. I'm going to teach the dog what he needs to know at the beginning, and then I'm going to say, hey, I need you to do just this while I'm gone for 5, 6, 7 days. And then, I can tell when I come back whether they did it or not. Because the dog is going to tell me. Because I've trained so many dogs, the dog is going to immediately tell me whether they work with them or not. And so then I can kind of decide, oh, okay, maybe we need a little bit more time in between trainings, because, I need the dog to learn this. And the person to be able to tell, because the dog is not going to do the same thing that he did if you didn't train him. So like, you have to be on top of it. But, so yeah, so that's what it is. So you'll be able to tell, because we're doing more specific things. Just to give you an example, like the first week I come over there, I'm making sure that the dog isn't peeing or pooping inside your home. It's the first thing, right? After that, then we're doing come, because I want the dog to understand to come back to you, because those are the safety things, right? If your dog is peeing or pooping in your house, I am more likely to get rid of the dog if the dog is peeing and pooping in my house. So I want to make sure that we get that out of the way first. Then, if the dog is still peeing and pooping after the first session, because it usually only takes about 2 days to teach a dog not to pee and poop in the house, if you're doing specific things that I ask you to do. And then after 2 days, if he's still doing that, then we kind of reevaluate at that time. So, but we're going over specific things. The first week will be peeing and pooping, none of that. Second week will be come, because if the dog runs out there after a deer, I need the dog to understand that, oh, I need to come back home instead of staying out here with the deers. Then we do sit, then we do place, which is sort of, what we did, where I told him to get on the barrels. And then we'll do heel, and then we will do down. And down is the most submissive command for any dog, because they're exposing their belly and everything to predators. So most of the time they don't want to do that. So once we kind of have all of those, then you can do stuff like, we'll go out and we'll have group trainings. We'll go out into to the neighborhood and do Home Depot, Lowe's, Tractor Supply, anywhere where we think there's going to be people and dogs and stuff like that. So yes.
Methods for dogs that are like eating food inside the house.
That are doing what?
Eating food inside the house. Like, what is your method for training that?
It's more conditioning your dog to understand what it is that you're asking them to do. And when they don't do what you're asking them to do, there are consequences to it. And that's more of what it's like. It's like, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to give you all the tools that you need, but I need you to make the right decision. When you don't make the right decision, I'm going to do something. I'm going to put my hands on you and you're not going to like it. And I'm okay with that, right? Because I'm just going to do it one time and he's going to be like, oh, you didn't want me to do that. Oh, got it. And so that kind of helps them, You know, some dogs, you might teach them this and they might get it immediately. And then some dogs are like, let me see what you're going to do if I do this. And I'm telling you, they're going to, a lot of times they're going to look at you before they do it because they want to see what you're going to do. They're going to be like, yeah, I'm finna do this. And they will look you dead in the eye and do what they're going to do. And then they're going to be like, all right, what you going to do? And so that's the part that I have to teach people sometimes. They don't just go, why did you do all that? There's certain things that you got to do. It's called more intentional handling is what we call it in the dog world. When you want to do stuff intentionally to your dog. And I'm not just, he does something and I'm popping him with a newspaper and stuff like that. I've had stories of everything, putting their face in the poop and pee and, I don't believe in any of that. The dogs are smart enough, they're just testing you for the most part. And they just want to see what you know. So that's pretty much more of what it's like. Make sense to you?
Yeah.
Without me kind of telling you the answer? Okay.
Do you ever help people find or provide people therapy dogs or service dogs, or do you just
I can.
help them train their dogs that they have?
I would prefer you to find your dog because in between that stage of you training the dog, you might lose a few hair, as you can kind of see. Okay? So it just makes a little bit more sense if you're connected emotionally to the dog. So yes, absolutely. I have a lot of trainers in the world and they always talking about dogs. Oh, we got this great dog here, and we kind of swap dogs. So we can find the right dog for you if that is what you want. Absolutely. I would prefer if you are emotionally attached to the dog, because if you're emotionally attached to the dog and bonded to him, he's going to be willing to work for you, as opposed to me finding a dog and then the dog is like, I don't like her. Yeah.
What's the max age that you say you can really train?
I have a 15-year-old, what is like a Beagle mix. She just told me that the Beagle mix got 3 to 6 months to live now. And the dog just came with us and she's doing everything that my dog is doing. A little bit slower, but she's 15 years old and she's on her deathbed. And she's still out there in the park. I have videos of her. So she comes every week. I love her. So yeah, it just really is. I'm gonna be honest, the training is more of mental training. So it's not like, age really matters. We're doing specific things to the dog to get the dog to understand. And I don't know if the dog understands. And you'll know if the dog understands. You're gonna be looking at me too and be like, oh yeah, he did it. Oh, okay, cool. And so we kind of go from there. We're working with you. It's not like I'm like, oh, he has to do it like this and that way. No, he's 15 years old. He might not be able to jump on top of a barrel. Okay? Just lay down on the mat, stuff like that. Yeah.
How do you train dogs for their anxiety?
For anxiety, a lot of times we train a task. That's more going to be like service dog, our service dog program. That would be more of a task. And what we call that would be like deep pressure therapy. Like if you're having anxiety attacks, you get a big 110-pound dog like Chapo, and he would lay on your chest like a heavy blanket. Like, okay, cool. And you'd be surprised how much that really kind of calms you down. I have PTSD from the military, so. Say again?
How can a dog recognize that person's going through an anxiety attack?
They gonna just know. They're with you all the time. They gonna know everything. Like Like, you know, sometimes I might have episodes and he's like trying to get out of the kennel to come to me. They're gonna know. They just with you, and they're gonna be like this the whole time, especially after you train with them and you bond with them. They're gonna, like, as soon as they see you, they're gonna be like on 10. Like, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? What is he doing? And so they're gonna know. That's gonna be more something that they're just gonna sense. You know, I can't really train that. And that's why the bond is so important. You know, the dog is gonna be more like, oh, I gotta work with you. Oh, something's wrong with him. Let me just come over there and sit next to him. So yeah, they'll just know. I know it kind of sounds kind of crazy, but they'll just know. You know, just like, you know, when you were younger, when your mom was upset. You know, you'd be like, oh my God, what did my dad just do to my mom? Why is he acting crazy? So yeah, they'll just know. Any other questions? No other questions?
If there's no any questions, let's give a round of applause to Mr. Gray.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
So we have about 10 minutes until our next transition, so you can hang out in here with Chaco,
Okay,
or
well-
you can go out in the hall to transition to the next room, whatever you'd like to do.
Perfect.